What if I told you that somewhere in Spain, farmers produce a ham so rare, so extraordinary that a leg can sell in the United States for more than $4,000, and every penny of it is worth it? Not for gold pieces, not for fancy restaurants, but for a process so slow, painstaking, and rooted in tradition that it seems nearly impossible in today's fast-paced world. To understand that, you have to step outside the industrial farms we're used to in America. Instead, imagine a quiet Spanish countryside, rolling hills, ancient oak trees, and black-hoofed Iberico pigs roaming freely under the canopy. No barns, no cramped cages, just earth, wind, and time. Here, farming isn't about pushing animals to grow faster. It's about letting nature shape flavor at its own pace. These pigs aren't raised for conventional pork. They're raised for legacy. Their muscles develop from miles of daily exercise. Their fat balls naturally come from a diet built on acorns that fall from trees each fall. And when their time on land is over, their journey continues into curing rooms, where each leg ages for years, yes, years under the watchful eyes of farmers who treat them like living works of art. One small mistake can cost years, but a perfect leg, it becomes something people travel the world to taste. So maybe the real mystery isn't why jamón ibérico costs $4,000. Perhaps the mystery lies in how something made with so much patience, heritage, and craftsmanship can be sold for less. Today, we're going to take that entire journey from the forest floor to the factory table to see how Spanish farmers turn time, nature, and tradition into the world's most precious ham. But first, I want to hear your gut reaction. If you think a $4,000 ham is really worth it, comment 1. If you want to explore the black pig farm and how it's made, comment 0. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this incredible process. The story of Iberico ham starts with the Iberico pig, a native black pig found mainly in Spain and Portugal. This breed is not common, and its characteristics make it different from the commercial pigs raised in most parts of the world. One of the most important traits of the Iberico pig is its ability to develop intramuscular fat. While typical pigs store fat mostly under the skin, Iberico pigs naturally build fat inside the muscle as they grow. Farmers have tracked this trait for generations because it directly affects texture after curing. The result is a fine marbling pattern that stays visible even after long aging. Iberico pigs produce fat with a high concentration of oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat similar to what is found in olive oil. This composition gives the meat a softer, more balanced flavor and helps the fat melt easily at room temperature. It's a measurable difference that plays a major role in the final quality of the ham. Physically, Iberico pigs are built for movement. They have strong legs, long snouts, and a leaner frame than many modern breeds. They are naturally active animals and can walk long distances each day. This endurance becomes important later during the foraging season, when they must search for food over large areas of pasture. The breed is also limited in number. Iberico pigs make up well under 1% of the world's pig population. Spain enforces strict rules to protect the purity of the breed. Only animals with verified ancestry can be labeled Iberico, and herd sizes remain controlled to maintain consistent quality. Breeding programs focus on selecting pigs with the right growth patterns, good body structure, and healthy fat development. Farmers evaluate these traits carefully because they determine the potential of the ham from the beginning. The goal is to preserve a breed whose characteristics have been shaped over many decades. With these genetic advantages in place, the next stage of the process happens outdoors, where the pigs move into the dehesa, an environment that plays a major role in the flavor of the final product. After the pigs reach the proper age, they are moved into the dehesa, a traditional pasture ecosystem found in western and southwestern Spain. This landscape is a mix of open grassland and widely spaced oak trees. It is the only environment officially recognized for raising pigs used in the highest grades of Iberico ham. Stocking density in the dehesa is intentionally low, usually around 50 pigs per hectare, to ensure that each animal has enough space to move and enough natural food available. The pigs spend most of the day walking, rooting, and searching for feed. This daily movement strengthens their muscles and helps distribute fat throughout the meat. Farmers observe the pigs frequently, checking their behavior, weight gain, and access to feed and water. But the animals spend most of their time roaming freely. The most important part of this stage is the montanera, the final feeding season that takes place during the fall and early winter. During this time, acorns drop naturally from the trees and become the pig's main food source. They also eat grasses and small plants, but acorns supply most of the calories. Because acorns contain a high percentage of oleic acid, they directly influence the composition of the pig's fat, improving flavor and helping create the soft texture that Iberico ham is known for. Weight gain during montanera is carefully monitored. Pigs must reach specific weight requirements to qualify for the top classifications of Iberico ham. A healthy pig can gain significant weight during this period through natural foraging alone. Farmers provide the necessary infrastructure for free-range conditions, clean water points, fencing to protect the area, and basic shelter if weather conditions require it. Although the pigs roam freely, management remains organized and follows national regulations. By the end of montanera, the pigs have completed the most important phase of their growth. Their muscles are well developed, and their fat has reached the quality needed for long-term curing. Once the season ends and the pigs reach the required standards, farmers select which animals will move on to the processing facilities, where the curing process begins. When the pigs complete the montanera season and reach the required weight, they are transported to authorized processing plants. These facilities follow regulated procedures to maintain hygiene and ensure that every step is traceable. After slaughter, the hind legs are separated, inspected, and selected based on size, firmness, and fat coverage. Only legs that meet Iberico standards move forward. The first step is trimming. Workers remove excess skin and outer fat to achieve a shape that allows salt to reach the meat evenly. This is a technical step, and trimming must follow fixed guidelines. Too much fat removed can cause the meat to dry too fast. Too little can prevent proper curing. Each leg is then weighed and labeled with a barcode. This code records the pig's breed percentage, feeding type, and processing date. The tag stays with the ham throughout the entire process. Traceability is required for all Iberico classifications. Next is the salting phase. Legs are covered with sea salt and placed in cold rooms kept between 34 degrees Fahrenheit and 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is high to protect the surface from drying. Salt exposure time depends on each leg's weight. The general guideline is 1 day of salt per kilogram. During this period, the salt begins removing moisture and stabilizing the meat. After salting, the legs are washed to remove surface salt and left to drain. Some facilities also apply a pressing step. Pressing shapes the ham and helps even out internal fat, improving consistency in later drying. It also reduces air pockets that could interfere with curing. Temperature and humidity increase slowly so that the salt spreads evenly through the muscle. Workers check the firmness and condition of each leg regularly and separate any that do not meet standards. These rooms maintain steady airflow and moderate temperatures. The goal is slow dehydration, removing moisture at a controlled pace. This step can last several months and prepares the ham for long-term aging. Legs that develop irregularities are reclassified to maintain quality consistency. When this stage is complete, the legs are ready to enter the curing cellars, where they will spend years developing flavor. After the hams finish the initial drying stage, they are moved into the aging cellars, where they will remain for several years. These rooms use controlled temperature, humidity, and slow air circulation to allow moisture to leave the ham gradually. As the months pass, a thin layer of white or gray mold may appear on the surface. This mold is normal in traditional curing and is allowed as long as it stays within acceptable patterns. Workers monitor the hams regularly and clean any unusual mold growth. The surface layer helps regulate moisture and protects the fat underneath. Inside the ham, natural enzymes begin breaking down proteins and fat. This process slowly changes the texture, making the meat firmer and giving it a deeper aroma. Depending on the classification, Iberico hams are aged for 2 to 5 years. Larger hams require more time because they hold more moisture. Throughout aging, workers perform routine checks. One traditional inspection method uses a cala, a small pointed tool historically made from horse bone. Inspectors insert the calla into specific points of the ham and smell it immediately after removing it. The tool absorbs aroma quickly, allowing them to identify issues such as improper curing or internal defects. If a ham passes these inspections, it continues aging. If it shows irregularities, it may be moved to a lower quality category. These checks ensure that only hams with correct texture, aroma, and surface conditions reach the highest grades. Once aging is finished, the hams are cleaned and prepared for sale. Some are sold whole on the bone, others are deboned and shaped for easier slicing. Many producers create thin vacuum-sealed slices, which are the most common formats shipped internationally. Slicing machines cut extremely thin pieces to show the marbling and keep the texture even. A fully aged Iberico ham has a firm, uniform texture and a deep reddish color. When served at room temperature, the fat becomes soft and releases its aroma quickly, reflecting the long curing process. After final inspection, the ham moves to labeling and certification, where its origin and quality grade are officially confirmed. From the animal's genetics to the long years of curing, every stage of Iberico ham production follows strict, measurable steps. Nothing in the process is rushed. Farmers select a rare breed with proven traits, raise the pigs in controlled free-range conditions, and monitor their diet closely during the Montanera season. Once the pigs reach the required standards, processing facilities follow fixed procedures for trimming, salting, drying, and aging. Each part of the chain is documented, regulated, and inspected. The long aging period is one of the most important factors behind the product's value. High-quality Iberico hams remain in cellars for 2 to 5 years. During this time, the ham loses moisture, develops aroma, and becomes firmer. Regular inspections using tools such as the calla ensure that each ham progresses correctly. These practices have been used for generations because they continue to produce consistent results. Iberico pigs make up a small percentage of global pig populations, and the highest classifications require pigs raised on specific land and fed natural acorns. Limited supply combined with long production times means only a small number of top-grade hams reach the market each year. When all these elements are added together, breed characteristics, free-range grazing, controlled feeding, regulated processing, and multi-year aging, the final product reflects the accumulated time and effort. For consumers, the appeal of Iberico ham comes from its texture, aroma, and the transparency of how it is produced. Every step can be verified, and each stage affects the final quality. The result is a cured meat that stands apart from standard commercial products. With the entire process complete, the ham is labeled, certified, and prepared for shipping. By the time it reaches markets or restaurants, it represents one of Spain's most detailed agricultural systems.